Buddy the dog, what are you doing? Well, you ready to see us work on a John Deere, hopefully for the last time for a while? I sure am. Let's get started right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Ross the Oliver Man. And I've been waiting on this. This is a sending unit for a 1020 John Deere. And we are going to hopefully finish up this guy's tractor to where we can take it back to him this week. I am still waiting on the gear shift knobs, but I don't know what to tell you. I'm just gonna tell him that when they get here, I'll bring them to him, because I don't know. I mean, it's silly for me to keep it here if that's the only thing I'm waiting on. We got much other work to do around here too, like take that out to Neverland. Needs to be put away. That's kind of, oh, okay. I was gonna say it's wet there, but I remember now what I did. I was spraying something else next to it. I must have got it up there higher. I was gonna say that's awfully strange for it to start leaking up that high after it's sat in a salvage yard for years and years, but sure. Now, there's several things that are going to be fun. Number A, I don't know how much gas is in it. He said he put more gas in it when he brought it, or when I went and got it. But you recall the fuel line was leaking the whole time, so it may be very well that there's not very much in there because it was leaking the whole time. And there could have been maybe almost none in there and he just put a little bit in. So we're gonna find out. Also, some people are gonna say, why don't you race the loader? Well, battery's probably dead and I don't know, I'm lazy. Okay. I was trying to find my nice screwdriver from a viewer, because I think it will have the right selection of tips to be able to get into where we need to go. And we might need to use it as a pry bar right away, I don't know. There's the feller we're after. The tank sounds kind of empty, so we're gonna operate under the assumption that it's empty, and hopefully not much will come out. You will recall that in previous episodes we tested and we found out that everything was good till here. And actually both pieces, the gauge and this, were bad, because when I tested the old gauge, it would never move ever. And when I put the new gauge in, it would peg one way and until you took this wire off, and then it would go the other way. So that meant the sending unit was bad too. So it's worth doing a little testing to save yourself money, because you may not need both pieces. This is kind of unusual, really. I don't think in all the tractors that, usually 99% of the time it's the sending unit, and the other few times you replace a gauge, but doing both is kind of not a very common occurrence. You get me? I'm also not sure, some of these come with screws and some don't, so we got to make sure we don't lose any. I don't think this one came with any. Ooh. Any screw or any gas there? No? Wow, that came off pretty clean. Okay. This might be a short video, friends. At this rate, where's the sadness gonna be, you know? We're doing so good. Don't worry, it'll come. Like there when we immediately drop our brand new. Watching me? All right, so we need to compare here. And we need to follow suit with what it is. Oh, the other float. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's full of gas, so the float leaks on it. The electric part might be good. But I got this. It's a little, I mean, this is the replacement, but it's just a little bit different style thing than the old ones. They got a they didn't punch the little plugs out of the screw holes very good, so I guess I got to do that real quick so as we don't accidentally drop a piece of cork in the... Yeah, that would not be good. If you know what I'm talking about, probably not. Also, I was looking, and I am correct in the fact that I'm pretty sure that these holes are not evenly spaced. So we're gonna have to make sure we get the gasket clocked the right way. Because why not, you know? Why would we have everything just work the correct way when we could make it very easily not the correct way? If you could only see me now, friends. This gasket does not line up. Right there, I think, is the best combination. I was starting to wonder if I had to flip it from side to side. Well, let's see if we can get that. Is that going to fit through there or not? Oh, don't be that way. It makes me nervous because, well, immediately we lost our progress on our gasket. But if I'm not careful here, there. I don't want to detach that float from the deal there. Okay. Gentle. Gentle. Boy, they did not make this with any room to spare. And I'm starting to wonder whether I'm going to get it in there or not. Come on. Ooh, boys. That is rough. I mean, that is... I don't like that. I'll be honest with you. Well, the good news is I can see a lot of the holes. The bad news is every part of this is miserable so far. Don't understand why it's there. There's two. Let's snug some up a little bit to maybe keep some stuff under control here. This is crazy. Should have probably wire wheeled those screws. But it is what it is. We don't want to go too much here because we could probably do more damage by over tightening that cork gasket than quitting at the correct time. He might have to keep an eye on this too, because I have a feeling that the original had the screws have so much stuff on because they probably smeared some goop over it to keep it where it, you know what I'm saying. to keep the screws from vibrating out. Maybe I need to take them out one at a time and put a little bit of Permatex on them, because then that would help seal. Potentially it wouldn't really seal the threads maybe, but it might seal the head to the plate, and that might be what we're after. We can always do that in a minute. Let's rewire here and get our wire hooked up and test it and see if our gauge reads something other than one direction or the other, and then we will go back and make it nice and more better. All right, there was an extra terminal that came with the what am I trying to say? Came with the fuel gauge, so we're just going to use that. We'll slide this on there, and we'll put that in there. Or not. Or we'll struggle and we'll make it the most difficult way possible. That's what we like to do. There we go. Get it now. Get it now. Alright. I don't like that it's... I'm going to cheat a little bit. Bend that back so it's not poking straight into that screen. Let's see. I don't know if the battery cable's hooked up still or not. It is. Can we reach the key? No. We knocked the key out last time we were messing with it, because I heard the gigantic school janitor key ring hit the deck. That's a lot of keys for one little tractor. Looky there. We got us a fuel gauge, and that's probably about right. It was just kind of below the gauge hole, and the gauge hole is, you know, probably about half tank, I would say, based on the shape of the tank. And I believe that our fuel level was about right in here somewhere, so I think that works out to be mathematically correct according to that. So that's snazzy. Now I'm going to hunt up my Permatex. I'm going to take out one screw at a time, put a little on, screw it in. Not necessarily to get it on the threads of the screw, but to kind of glue the head of the screw to this plate, just for some insurance. Because I think, I mean, on my ones I always do where they sit on the top, where's it going to go? It's not going to want to climb out of there as much as this one potentially on its side would want to back them out, and then you'll either start having a fuel leak or they'll come out real bad and you'll have a massive fuel leak. So I'm going to do that, right or wrong, and see if that doesn't make it better for him. Oh, we gotta fix one at a time. Yeah, see, I think they slathered the old ones with material, and it was something that's, I don't know what this really was made of. It's a very weird consistency now. Somebody out there will probably know what it was, but I don't think it was just regular silicone. That's what I'm getting at. I'm just gonna try to put a little dab under the head of each one. I really don't want any in the fuel tank, because if it would dry and then break off, it could potentially plug something. But I think that that will help lock the screws to there, because that stuff's pretty resilient. I mean, once it dries, it's pretty well staying there. It's not like your regular old ultra black stuff that's real slippery and eventually works its way looser and then has oil leak out past it. This stuff really is amazing what it can do. Should have done this before I bent that over there in my way, but nothing I do is the way that it started out to happen. There's always a wrinkle that we come up with later. Let's see. Okay, that's on there. Let's try to put this back in there. I have to get up to the top side for that to see that it's on. Can't see if it's on the pins. Hard to do this with the loader frame in the way. See there, it's close, but it's not quite. There. All right, typical failure of a sending unit. I've had this happen where it's obviously full of fuel. I've had that happen before. That's a common thing. You see a lot of them where they brazed them up to try to fix the holes like they did on carburetor floats and stuff. I've also had them where the float totally falls off, which this one probably did once, and that's why they brazed it to that wire. So it's very possible that the electric part of this would still be good, but you can have those sending units for cheap enough that it ain't worth messing with this, you know? Although this was a Stuart Warner made in USA product, so perhaps that's good. I'll probably throw this on a shelf or something in case for emergency you'd need it for something. You never will, but that's what you do. You know, didn't you learn that from your grandparents? Save everything because you might need it someday. Well, that's why I have mountains of parts that I'll never use. But that is pretty well going to wrap this thing up. Like I said, until we get this gear shift ball. I ordered 2 so they'd be matching. But I think now is the portion of the affair where we usually take it on a test drive. Now, because of the nature of this, not wanting to charge the battery, and he's going to tackle that, I believe, because he said he's messed with that before. And like I said, we've already exceeded his limit that he wanted to spin, so he can do some of the... We pretty well got everything else fixed, so he can tackle that, but I don't think it'll start. No. We need to charge his battery, so we need to, when we're done, we need to park it somewhere where we can have a battery charger hooked to it, which will probably only be the grain bin, because right now my electric outside is not working very good. So we'll do that, but we're gonna try to get it started with the jump box. I just gotta remember where the jump box is. We used it on so many different things that I just gotta track it down. But we'll get this tractor started and then we'll try to take it for a test drive just to say we did, because that's what we do around here. All right, running. This thing has been super handy, although heavy, and I'd like to give it an excellent review, but unfortunately, it's the second one. They had to warranty it already. I don't know if I ever mentioned that or not, but it decided to melt. Like one day the knob didn't want to play ball, and so they ordered a new knob, and by the time the knob got here, even if you turned the thing behind the knob, it would never shut off. It was always on, and it finally just melted down and they had to warranty it. So I don't know, I like the idea of a jump pack, and a lot of people said to get those little tiny ones, and they said they actually work. They'll start semis and everything. It's hard to believe a tiny thing could do that, but I might have to investigate that whenever this one finally gives up the ghost, because that was a lot of money for it not to, you know, last very long. All right, fuel gauge is working. Loader is working. Power steering is working. All the stuff that it came for. It's running beautifully. Now we need to try to squeeze out of here because I got everything sitting in the way, as per usual. So we're gonna just try to skate right on out next to this parts tractor. Uh-oh. We didn't make it. Almost. There, we made it. All right, let's go drive. At least until we get farther down in the red. Don't die, we don't have a way back. Come on. Really, the foot throttle I miss very badly. I'm so used to mine, which has that, and then this one doesn't, and that's really difficult to get used to. Steers effortlessly. So nice. For me though, because the steering wheel's in my gut. I have my seat on the tractor slid all the way back. I guess I could put it in the high position. Or not. That's too much trouble. Never heard road gear on this. There we go. The steering just to see how responsive it is. It's pretty sensitive, so I think that's good. It does not have near the play that mine does. Like I said before, my steering box really needs rebuilt, but since it's that open center style, I don't know what the parts availability situation will be, so I've kind of left it alone until it gets worse. It just runs so quiet. I can't get over that. Even the hydraulic pump is quiet. Of course, it's a lot less pressure than like that hydraulic pump on mine. I want to say these were 4 roller pumps, and that one like on mine's an 8 now. Such a little sweetheart. This really is a good little tractor. I mean, it's pretty straight. I think it would shine up if you took the time to flitz it and sand it a little bit. The old tachometer even works. Usually that's one of the first things to go. All right, I can't get over how quiet it runs. It's got a little blow by, which, hey, it's getting old, but I think for what he does with it, it'll last a long time. If he can get it where the battery charges, he's gonna have something spectacular, because it's like a new tractor. I mean, I don't know that this comes through on camera, but it is running smooth as can be. Like, mine doesn't run that smooth. I don't know if it's just because this is a 3-cylinder, and they always said 3 cylinders somehow cancel out vibration better than a 4. I don't know. That's kind of why those little Fiat diesels have that balancer thing in the oil pan, but this thing just runs smooth as silk. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just it's a nice tractor. He spent a lot of money on it, but it's worth spending some money on. I mean, I would say that he could easily get his money back and maybe a little more for it if he wanted to sell it, because a little tractor this size with a loader, I mean, it's just handy as a pocket on a shirt. I mean, yeah, it's a nice little tractor. So thank heavens, I think we are finally ready that we can call this completed. So I'm going to leave this one here before we look at it too long and we find something else that needs attention, because that seems to be the theme of how this whole project went. But I've run it around here enough, and with that little test drive and stuff, and I don't see anything leaking, so that's always good. We'll just have to have him keep an eye on that, because anytime you mess with stuff, there's a potential for something to loosen up and start leaking or whatever. So, you know, fittings need to be tight for a long time before they decide they're just gonna stay that way, you know? Sometimes the vibration loosens stuff. So if he just keeps an eye on everything, I think he'll be golden. It really should probably have another bath before it goes back, but I think he can wash it, you know. It was dirty when it came, and I've cleaned it up a bunch, so I would say another good wash, get some of that grime off the floorboard and stuff, and a little bit of the back end where it never got washed. I think this is mainly water from like rain that's, you know, settled there and shook out when I drove. Yeah, it runs smooth as silk. I can't believe it. After so much struggle that it put us through, that it can sit there and run that good. And quiet. It's night and day different tractor than when it came. So, like I said, let's just leave this one here, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or, if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.